We have seen in organizations people overstating their expenses when they are on a business trip. They tell a few lies, call them white lies or real lies. They take credit for their colleagues, the work that they have not done, and so on and so forth. All of these are violations of ethics, very plain and simple. But what do organizations do about it? Some organizations are really concerned about it. They have code of ethics, they induct their people, new joinees on all of this. But what should organizations in general do? I think there are three aspects to think about. First, it's about, do we create a structure in the organization where you could really spot somebody who's telling a lie or somebody who is violating the limits? That's about the culture that the organization sets. And does it get very expressly discussed? Does it have a channel where people could really talk about it? Some organizations have, some do not. You don't necessarily need to have an email ID to really raise a concern, but there are different ways in which you can. So that's the first point. Can you spot them? Secondly, it's about senior leaders in an organization are always more powerful than the others. So when someone is violating a principle, stretching the limits, who do you raise this concern against? You have always a sense of fear in your mind that, why should I burn the bridge with this gentleman or with this lady? The person can pull a few strings within the organization as well as outside. Why should I create a potential threat to my career? However, progressive organizations are really concerned about it. They have systems, they benchmark their own performance, such as attrition, such as retention, and so on and so forth, against their peers in the industry. If you have the right culture, the right meaning leaders, if you really have the right amount of importance being given to the methods as well as the outcomes, then your results would be significantly different. And finally, last but not the least, is about the human behavior to human tendency or the need to belong to something which is larger. We all have a social need. So when the organization is having situations where people are violating these codes of ethics, people somewhere tend to lose sight of it because they need to fit into something which is larger. So slowly, little by little, if one manager or one leader is not really adhering to those ground rules, that team suddenly stops seeing these violations. I think it's important that some of these progressive organizations, the good practices is to conduct some annual studies to see what's the climate like and what should the organization do about it. Thank you.